Now, keeping the conversation here in West Africa, 27 civilians killed in August riots in Sierra Leone have been buried in the capital Freetown following a state-led ceremony. Family members have been disputing police reports and demanding justice. News Central's Bernard Akede has more.
27 coffins carrying the remains of civilians killed in the August 10 protest in Sierra Leone. One after the other, the coffins were lowered into individual graves at the Bolima Cemetery in the Waterloo district of Freetown, following a state-led ceremony at the Connaught Hospital Memorial. Friends and family members shed bitter tears as some contested the official account of the deaths of their loved ones. One of the victims, Hassan Doumbouya, was a social media influencer and prominent member of the opposition party, All Progressives Congress.
All the family members approved. We were there at the meeting and we disapproved. We rejected the 20 million.
On August 10, a protest about the cost of living spiraled into deadly clashes between security forces and young men calling for President Julius Bayo to resign. Violence erupted in several parts of the West African nation, with the authorities imposing an internet blackout in response. In the days following, police said they conducted raids on hideouts for perpetrators.
I feel so disheartened, depressed, very unhappy. I'm not happy at all with the decision of the government to then take for keep picking them up to now for 2 months and some days. And now that they cancel the go back, I don't feel happy about that. It caused a lot of trauma. It caused a lot. It made the family just shattered. Everybody now feel happy at all.
During one of those raids in the city of Makeni, Doumbouya, also known as Evangelist Samson, was killed in a crossfire. This was according to police statements. His family disputes this statement, saying he was shot from behind, according to autopsy reports they received. As the tears flow, many Sierra Leoneans continue to call for justice, though they say they have lost faith in the system. Bernard Akede, reporting for...
And just to add a little bit to that story, the Sierra Leonean government, of course, has been, accused of bullying the people who came out on the riot. Those 27 bodies, according to reports, were not released to their families. They were instead, given a state burial. The families were offered 20 million leon, which is about $1,200, as compensation, which they rejected, and that includes Hassan Doumbouya's family, who of course have continued to call for proper investigations into his death. Policemen who also lost their lives in the protest, about 8 of them, were offered about 100 million leon, or their families rather were offered about 100 million leon as compensation for their deaths. And of course, people have linked and likened this rather to the NSAS protest here in Nigeria in October 2020, and how that eventually resulted. With bodies not being returned to their families, according to reports.
I mean, it's bad enough that they lose their lives, but not only are they not being able to be buried by their families are not given enough time to grieve. According to reports, only 3 family members per family were allowed to visit the morgue in Freetown, where a bus would then convey them to the undisclosed burial site. It's just a trauma on many levels, right? It's a bad way to die. I mean, there are some good ways to die, really, but it's really a painful way to die. And then there's no closure for the family members. Then what next? What next with the government? What next is the government going to do? Are these lives going to be lost in vain? I think these are the questions that we must ask.
Well, we, of course, heart to God to these persons. And
yes,
we would,
absolutely.
Definitely, love to have more of these conversations as time passes.